We're at Advertising Week New York. I'm BJ Smith, and I have with me Jeffrey Cologne from Microsoft Bing. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here, BJ.
I should also mention that you are an author. You've got the book Disruptive Marketing, which I picked a copy of that last year.
Yeah, it's doing well. I'm working on my second book now called Visual Bandits, which actually I'm going around and taking pictures of street art and talking a little bit about how AR might disrupt out-of-home advertising. So looking forward to it.
Okay, so everybody has to talk about it. Apple recently released their new phones, and I know that AR was a big part of that demonstration. So what is that going to be in the future? What are we looking at?
I mean, we're looking at the barrier to entry has been obliterated because the fact ARKit is available, there's a lot of third-party apps, and also because last year people were walking around playing a game, which was AR-enabled, yes. Pokemon Go. We're much more open to those experiences. We're much more open to using our phone to unlock out-of-home advertising. This room might look different next year. We could be actually going around and looking at it in an AR-enabled environment. But that also opens up questions. How does the FTC regulate that? Can I deface other people's property?
Sure.
This is going to be really interesting, and it's going to open up a whole new world where the physical and digital integrate really well. This is one area I think search advertising is going to play a big part because geolocation will be such a huge part of, hey, we have a billboard in Times Square. How many people actually interacted or engaged with it using an AR app?
We had a company I used to work for, one of the brands. We were trying an experiment back when everybody was still toying around with QR codes.
Oh, yeah.
We were working on having the product boxes where somebody could point the camera at the logo and get a demonstration right there on their phone of the actual product itself. That was 5 years ago. I think it was too soon.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because there are people there are organizations that are ahead of the curve. We say on the bleeding edge. It's a matter of, are people ready for adoption? 10 years ago, QR codes were difficult to adopt because you were down in the subway. There was no Wi-Fi. There was no way to download an app. Now that those barriers are gone, so I think we'll see a lot more of that interactivity. I think people are looking for more of those experiences now, rather than the same old that we see within like the digital realm.
And we need to be smart about it. I will never forget coming down from the mountains of North Carolina, going around a steep curve at 65 miles per hour, at least that's what the speed limit was at the time. Yeah. And there's a billboard with a QR code.
Yeah, like they almost expect you to figure out, drive and open up your phone, and it's sort of ridiculous.
Yeah. So what are you doing out here at Advertising Week?
I mean, we're a big part of Advertising Week, have been for many years. We like to think of the fact Bing is a search engine that budget and business decision makers and the C-suite, don't need to consider anymore. They actually need to, keep it within their top 5 in terms of where they need to spend advertising money. We're integrated really well across Windows devices. We have growing market share, so it's really important for us to be here just to make sure we're talking to a lot of the influential people in the business so that they realize where Bing is and where Bing is going. And of course, at Cannes, it was almost like the artificial intelligence coming out party.
Right.
And we have a lot of things on artificial intelligence or AI here at Advertising Week New York this year. And we're, Microsoft is a big part of that discussion. I mean, we are leading the way in these areas, and I think it's something that we have to be here to talk about that. Cognitive services is not going to go away. I guess the most interesting thing is how do we talk to people who are influential in the space so we're building things they're actually going to use.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. So how is Bing integrating AI? What are they doing with AI?
I mean, if you think about, there's different areas of AI. Applied AI is the big area that we all use. I mean, when you whip out your phone and you look at the weather, that's applied AI. It knows the surrounding, it knows context. I think even timesheets. I'm looking at my background in terms of having worked in the agency world prior to working at Microsoft. I used to hate timesheets. Is there a way AI could actually be utilized in those areas. So we always get into discussions on, will it take over the creative fields? I think what we should look at now is, how can it enhance areas like timesheets? How can it enhance operations? Areas where you may spend a lot of time, like the dreaded doing your expenses. AI could help a lot in these areas that it frees you up to actually do creative things. And I think those are the discussions that we need to be having in organizations now, so that you don't have a person you're hiring to be creative or a creator and they're spending 60% of their time on things that deal with process.
I will tell you that from my history in the agency world, and I think this also would apply to lawyers, legal agencies, having the AI in the timesheets would be amazing, because there is so much of your day that is spent just figuring out what's been billable, how much time have you worked on a certain thing, and if you could eliminate or at least shrink that down, that would be amazing.
Yeah. I mean, those are things I think you have to have good conversations on. I mean, one of the things I like to do in Redmond with the developers is tell them what people want us to build. I mean, just because you can build stuff, BJ, doesn't mean we should build it.
Right.
I mean, AI is an ethical conversation, if anything, and I think we should have those conversations, especially, at a place or a forum like Advertising Week, where you're around the best and brightest minds. And it shouldn't be, hey, we can build this, so let's just build it. It's like, well, wait, what are the implications for society? And I mean, that goes all the way to the top. I mean, our CEO, Satya Nadella, he has a new book coming out tomorrow called Hit Refresh. In that book, he talks a lot about this. How do you build a better future? You don't build it just by building things because you can build them. You build it because people actually are going to be able to utilize them. So, if anything, if the book opens up debate on that, I think that's good. We should have healthy debate on where technology is going, especially in our space, because the ad space is always an early adopter in terms of these technologies.
I know that you're going to be wandering around, enjoying lots of the talks and the panels going on here at Advertising Week. You are known as a marketing influencer, especially on LinkedIn. So
yeah, some people have stopped me already. They're like, I know you from somewhere. And I'm like, oh, geez, is this what it feels like to be like a celebrity? I'm just kidding.
No. Well, welcome to the internet celebrity world.
Yeah.
So if people want to follow you, how do they do that?
Yeah, I mean, the best place probably is on LinkedIn. If you look at my profile, Jeffrey Colon, there is, you can't really connect with me. You can only follow me. And I guess LinkedIn has sort of put me in a place where if you want to see points of view on marketing and advertising, I'm one of those people to follow, and almost everything I post is within our space, and people, I think, sort of enjoy that. And if not there, Instagram, Twitter, at DJ, GEOFFE, my old DJ handle.
Gotta love it. Jeffrey Colon, thank you for hanging out with us today.
Thanks, BJ.
Enjoy Advertising Week.
Yeah, good seeing you.
All right, there'll be more from Advertising Week New York coming up soon.